The following was recorded in front of a live studio audience at the Studio 21 Podcast Café.
Welcome to this episode of Pit Life BBQ. Gather around the pit with your hosts, Johnny Maggs and Messy Mike. Let's talk barbecue.
What's up, everybody? Coming to you live from the Studio 21 Podcast Café in Salem, New Hampshire. It's the Pit Life BBQ podcast where we talk everything barbecue and a lot of other topics that you normally talk around the pit. As always, I'm joined by Messy Mike.
What's going on?
What's up?
How are you, sir?
Yeah, hanging in there.
Yeah? How's your week been? You working?
Yeah.
Yeah? Nice.
Answering phones, putting out fires, the whole 9 yards.
Yep.
Where's my mail? Where's my package? I'm not getting mail at my business. Well, is the door locked? Yeah. Well, there you go.
Saw the white sauce. That looks good.
Yeah, I did that yesterday. Did a couple other ones. But it was a busy weekend.
Nice. How was it?
I did the best ribs of my life on Sunday.
Did you use all three of those rubs?
Yeah.
Okay. Very nice.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that was a good one. Oh yeah, I was a smoking fool. I had that thing, had everything running. The grills, the smoker, everything. It was great.
What's the difference between every other weekend? Aren't you always a smoking fool?
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
You just more so.
You just took it to another
More
level.
smoking.
That's foolery.
Oh, absolutely. The fools.
How many cigars do you have that day?
3.
Okay.
Not bad.
Hey.
The weather was
7 years to your life?
The weather was absolutely. Maybe 8. The weather was starting to kick up here and there, so getting uneven burns, don't want to get it wet, the whole 9 yards. But let's get going. Today, very excited. We're staying local, right?
Mm-hmm.
We are staying local. We're finally out of it. Not finally, but we're out of the state of Texas. We were hanging out in Texas for a while there. So we are staying local. Today we are joined by George and Dave of Nor'easter Smoke BBQ. Guys, are you there?
We are.
Oh, we're here.
What's up, guys?
Welcome to the pit.
Thanks for having us.
So where are you guys located?
So I'm in Wayland, Massachusetts.
Okay.
And I live down in Westport, Massachusetts, kind of facing the Elizabeth Islands, right on the ocean.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice place to quarantine.
Exactly. A lot of good seafood down here. Yeah.
Nice. And how long have you guys been friends?
Oh man, we go back 30 plus years.
Yeah. We both had brown hair back then. It's been a long ride. That's right.
Nice. Now, what made you get into? So, both of you, you have regular jobs. What made you get into barbecue seasoning?
Go for it, David.
Barbecue first.
Well, George was looking for his retirement opportunity, and he looked at the violin briefly and found that wasn't going to work. He just didn't have the patience for it. But we've been doing this for a long time, so it starts off as I guess it does with everybody, right? As a hobby, and we were both in the business world and traveling. So smoking and grilling and making all kinds of stuff to enhance that experience was something we both did for a long time. And we'd talk about it and we'd share stuff and give stuff to the families and friends and give gifts to families and friends. And then you try stuff that's more difficult or try things that are a little bit off the beaten path. And so it truly began as a hobby, right? Which I think is the case for almost everybody that moves along to something a little bit more, I guess, commercial or industrial. And so, and probably, just a couple of years back, we started talking about making a business out of this. We were spending a lot of time at it. And I think we started talking about what our core principles would be if we did do that, and how would we be different, right? Because there's a lot of product out there, and there's a lot of excellent ideas out there as well. And so if we were to do it, we wanted to make sure that we could stand out in the crowd, so to speak. So that's kind of that's the I think, as I recall, how things happen. I'll turn it to George and see if I missed anything.
No, that's like you have a buddy and you start smoking and grilling and you really screw up a lot and you kind of call and you're like, man, why did that taste like shoe leather? And he's like, dude, you got to turn the heat down, or what's this wood versus that wood? And I'm more of a smoker and David's more of a griller. So, and we're completely kind of opposite on all different sides. So we're a good check and balance to, checking guys out.
Nice. And what was your first rub and where did that come from? Where did the idea come from on that?
I know. Well, I think I know, but David, you should do. He probably had his first rub. I ran out of meat one day, and it was just I had to get out of the house. I had small kids, and I'm like, shit. I just gotta, fire up the smokers. So I threw salts. I had lots of Morton salt laying around, and so I started smoking salts, and it got tricky a little bit, but then I got it right, and the smoked salts just came out great. And so I started putting some thyme and started smoking some thyme, and made this thing called smoking thyme, which kind of the pun on the word. But and I just started giving it to neighbors, and they started really liking it. So that's kind of how it first came out.
Nice. Excuse me. Now you guys package your own stuff. I mean, you guys are doing your own thing. You're not dealing with a co-packer. I think when I was talking to you, George, you were saying, you're still smoking all the spices that, need to be smoked. You're packaging them, you're shipping them out. Where are you guys doing this out of? And, you guys shipping all over the country?
Yeah. Yeah. So I think David was co-packing himself out of his Jeep in Fairhaven, Massachusetts this morning, but he was a little short on supply, so we had to do some quick product manufacturing. But no, we do all the smoking ourselves, hand smoke. It's the only way to do it. We don't buy smoked paprika. We buy sweet paprika and smoke it ourselves to get the right. And that's why everything's kind of small batch, because it's never absolutely the same.
Yep.
And then David's does a lot down in Westport, and even out of Warren, Rhode Island. We have a clean kitchen, so that when the health inspector comes, we fly right.
Nice. Now, what type of wood do you use to smoke the spices, or do you switch it up every now and then?
I switch it up a lot. I have made some mistakes. So I'll take hickory and pecan for the paprika,
yep.
and David has a sweet touch with applewood on his on his salts, because he makes it a fish rub that's just is amazing.
Nice.
Yeah.
And how do you guys collaborate? So you're in one location, you're in another location. Who comes up with the ideas? Do you both come up with the ideas and then kind of meet and then try it out? Where does the ideas come from?
Go ahead, Dave.
So we came up with our core products when we launched the business, Mike. What we didn't want to overextend ourselves. We wanted to make sure that we were providing everybody with a good experience, whether you were a retailer, whether you were buying on our website. And so we wanted to start off with a core group of products that offered variety and gave you a good sense of what we wanted the products and the rubs and the salts to stand for. And so essentially, when we entered into it, we wanted to make sure we were giving people unique product. As George said, we smoke our own salt, smoke our own paprikas. We use our own woods when we're making those products. And so we started off with 8 different offerings. And then in terms of, and those are from very traditional dry rubs to stuff that's got some nice heat to it. We've got we can talk more about the product specifically or the rub specifically, but we've got stuff for chicken, we've got stuff for seafood, we've got stuff for pork and beef and fowl for sure, all kinds of fowl for sure. And so, the products that we've got now are probably products that George and I have worked on anywhere from probably 5 years to 20 years. And refined.
So our testing lab usually requires a 6-pack, a kitchen, David's bad music, and then we try to take it from there.
There's times in the kitchen, right? There's times where we're on FaceTime. There are times where, hey, I tried this over the weekend. It was really good. Or as George said, right, to do this. And although both of us have been doing it for a long time, you still get the mulligans and the days where you say, oh man, that just didn't work out. I love heat. And so I'm always playing with heat. And that's probably where I started, is really trying different kinds of heat. And as time went on, instead of whacking people over the head with the heat hammer, started to try to really make it products and rubs that even if you love heat, or if you don't really care for heat, it's got some nice balance. It's got some nice layers to it. And George tends to be on the other side of the spectrum. So you asked the question of us making stuff. When we're in the kitchen, one of the things we make, is got some, a bunch of peppers in it, ghost pepper, reaper, so on and so forth. So as I'm mixing, he's generally on the other side of the building with a mask on. As that cloud of that plume comes up, Well,
it's funny because when we were supposed to be in studio, all of us, I have a buddy of mine who does a ghost pepper powder. And he actually, he developed another one, and we were actually going to have you try that because I did hear you are a heat guy. And now, are you guys finding out, no matter what you use for heat, there's always people asking you, do you have something hotter? I want it hotter.
Yeah, it's a great point, Mike. One of the things we had to learn, kind of two things, right, is you don't want to make a product that doesn't live up to people. Those of us that love heat, love it. And so it's a fine line. And yet we also know that you can make stuff that it's so overwhelming. It's just not going to marry with food. It's really almost like a gimmick, right? And so that's the trick, is giving the customer what they're looking for in terms of heat, but other flavor profiles as well. Mm-hmm. And so that's been a trick. And so, for example, we make a rub called Category 5, and that was just, we tested, just making sure that the people who love their heat really felt satisfied and thought it was a high quality product. And so anyway, what do you have to say on that one, George?
I was going to say, it was naming a Category 5 is dangerous because it's like, it's hot, and it is hot, and I'm a wuss when it comes to heat. But God forbid someone like buys a Category 5 and says, it's a 3. Or, somebody always wants like a 10. And
yep.
David literally tortures me with all his different dried peppers, and he puts the mixer on without a mask, and then the cloud in the kitchen just grows. And
then he shakes your hand.
It does clear you out.
Now, and doing a fish rub is probably very important in, obviously, Massachusetts. Yeah. Big seafood. What are some of your other rubs that you guys have? What would you say is your favorite? And what would you say is by far a customer favorite? He's the coast and I'm in the mountains. So I hang and fish if I'm not up in the White Mountains fishing all summer, I'm not doing something right. So I love smoky maple cabin. Mm-hmm. So I'll take some. We'll take local sourced maple pellets, and then we'll take some little brown sugar, a little paprika, and that's killer. And it started off with my kids making it Saturday morning at bacon, where the kids would have sleepover, and I would be grilling up bacon outside, and I just kind of started throwing a little bit of it on it, and the kids were like jamming it, and so that was kind of the first one out of the chute for me.
And that's a great one. And kids do love it. And it's made, that particular rub, you guys, is made with real Vermont maple granules, and you can taste it. And as George said, that's simple. Just putting on some bacon on a Saturday or Sunday morning is just fantastic.
Nice.
But I think, Mike, just answering, so, we've got all kinds of stuff. One of them, probably, you guys can see this is our Holy Smokes, which I would say is our most traditional kind of barbecue. It's got, some nice sugar, some nice smoked salt in it, and then a real wide palette of flavors that give it a nice finished product that you could dry rub something with for ribs or for doing a Boston butt, that type of stuff, pulling something, doing some pulled pork, that type of stuff. And then we try to go down the line, right? So this is one we call Freebird. And
now that's one of my favorites.
I'll turn it over to you, George, and just talk about this one. But people love this, right? And it works on all kinds of stuff, veggies and chicken, and we've used it on all kinds.
Yeah. No, so David listens to like lousy classic '80s music, but I'm a Southern rock guy, so I just love Leonard Skinner, and I crank it when I'm in the pit. And I kind of concocted the chicken one, and I just was like, I just called it Freebird, that'll kind of make your chicken dance. But I crack myself up every time I play the tunes and cook.
Oh, man after my own heart.
Exactly.
I always have the music going when I got the pits rolling.
Oh, absolutely. And
you need it.
Yeah, the cigar is a nice added touch too.
Oh, for sure.
Yep.
For sure.
Yep, that's Johnny's department.
Low and slow.
I can't do pepper or cigars.
So guys, on those particular two rubs, what are you aiming for flavor profile wise on each one?
So, and there's another one. So, okay. So, and then we should talk about Magic Dust too, because that I didn't realize when I started getting into the rubs and stuff that, some people think sugar and salt are cheats in rubs, and David created this Magic Dust, which blew me away. But when I do the Holy Smokes, I try to get the smoked paprika and the smoked salt on a pork butt is great. Anything on the pork on a pulled pork, it's great because you can get a really nice bark. And if I use the cherry wood, I use the cherry wood for color, and somehow it just mixes with the paprika and the sugars, and you get this incredible deep, rich smoke. It gets a really heavy, smoky flavor without overpowering it, without drying the meat. So, because some guys don't marinate, some guys don't inject, some guys don't do stuff. But even if you do a quick pork tenderloin for dinner or something, it'll give you that heavier flavor, which is nice.
We've, that the flavor profile, I would say we've got some really simple products, as George said, smoke and thyme, which you could almost keep right at your, next to the grill or next to the stove, right? And it works on almost everything. It's got sea salt that we've smoked, and then it's got thyme and a little bit but it's very, very simple. We make another one called Smoky Ghost, and same thing.
Of course we do.
It's a seasoning salt, and it's got ghost pepper in it, and a couple of other little things, but very, very simple. I think on our rubs, particularly the more traditional stuff, whether it's Holy Smokes, we've got some brown sugar and other sugars in there, but I think the profile we're looking for is in some of the products. It's traditional, but at the same time, we don't use any preservatives. We want to make sure we've got enough different stuff in there so that when you're trying it, you're saying, yeah, this is perfect for pulled pork. However, these guys have done something a little bit different here. This tastes a little bit different. Hey, I really do notice that they're using their own smoked sea salt, for example, or their own smoked paprika. No preservatives in anything that we use or make. That's kind of one of our core philosophies is just don't use any junk. We don't use product to fill a bottle, whether it be sugar or salt. And by that I mean, if you guys know, you look at the store, you can see that it's well
MSG stuff like that.
Exactly.
Yeah, and then you got to deal with the questions that everybody asks, and trying to get it in retail locations. A lot of stores nowadays don't really want stuff that has junk in it.
Exactly. And customers as well, right? They're paying attention now. People, And it's funny, you bring up a great point, Mike. It's unintended. Like when we started this thing, even the name Nor'easter, we wanted a sense of place. So much of what you see for product out there has got a Southern connotation, which is not bad at all. Or it's got it's from a place that's down south. And one of the things we revel in is that, hey, as with you guys, right? You're out and it's a snowstorm, or you're cleared off the deck and you got ice, and we're still grilling and barbecuing and smoking, and we're out there with a beer and smoking cigars in the dead of winter. Yep. And so that's part of how we came up with the name. And then the logo, and same thing. It's like we really anguished to come up with something that was cool and different.
He's got the hat, David.
Yeah, honestly, this doesn't leave my head. It fits perfectly. It's molded to it. Love it.
So, everything we do, we don't just throw it out there. The products, the logo itself, all of it, we really spend a lot of time. And, back to the Holy Smokes, or the Category 5 that we make, really, it's the Category 5. The other thing we try to do, you guys, is as we expand the product line, everything's got a little bit different color shade, so you're buying a different product. So Atlantic Fish is blue, and Category 5 has got that heat red to it.
Smart.
And then, stuff as simple as like we use in the Atlantic Fish. So it's got lemon peel, it's got orange peel, again, our own smoked sea salt in it. And when we created this, back to flavor profiles and what are you trying to do, think of when you go buy, if you like fish, and people who like fish love fish, right? So when you go and buy some beautiful New Bedford scallops, or you're getting some nice Atlantic swordfish, you want to taste the fish, right? If that's your jam. And I love stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So, we made this so you taste it and it enhances it. So that was a biggie for us as we went. So we kind of making sure when we dropped the gavel on a product that it was something where people could say, yeah, this is better than just about anything I've tried out there. And it's really good for this.
I have a question, Mike. When you do a brisket, are you doing like a Dalmatian rub? Or do you do any? There's so much. That's one of these. It's a Jedi Knight meat for me, where I cannot get it perfect. I'll get an A-, but I can never nail it. And everybody's debating whether just do a Dalmatian rub or do something. And you're the pro at it.
I use salt, pepper, garlic, little paprika, some seasoning salt. I try and keep it simple, only because that's what the customers want. And also your price point. You can't be spending a ton of money on rubs. For my brisket, I always use the same thing. It's basically salt, pepper, garlic, little seasoning salt, a couple other things in there. And I do a light coating, just enough to coat the brisket, and then throw it in the smoker. And when I talked to you the other while back, and you were doing the wedding party, you could do a brisket the day before. You could do a brisket, night before, whatever. And then just reheat it back to temp, and you'll still get a perfect product.
I forgot to tell you, thank you. You saved my ass. I don't know if the other guys know it, but my daughter was getting married, and we had to do a foxhole retreat and do a small thing in the backyard. And it was last minute, and the only thing I had was a Wagyu brisket in my freezer that scared me and was intimidating. And Mike walked me
through. Not a bad
it.
thing to have in your freezer.
Well, you saved my ass, because I was, not only do you have to have no wedding at a church or anything else you got to do in your backyard, then you're cooking for everybody, and I've never done a brisket well, so you saved my butt. Thank you.
Thank you. No problem. And I'm in business, so I do this for a living, so I tend not to say what I use in my rubs. Right. I need to keep something a secret. But right. The one thing that I liked about yours is it's not overpowering. You still can taste the meat, chicken, whatever you put it on. So your protein's coming first, and then the rub is second. But it's a nice flavor.
Should always
some of these rubs you put on, and it's all you can taste is rub.
Yeah.
And you could tell that there was nothing. You could tell there was no stuff in it. Fillers, stuff like that. It was a real nice, crisp, flavor. So I just want to let you guys know that great job on that.
Very cool.
Thank you, man.
So what is it that you guys like to make on the week? So if somebody said tomorrow it's Saturday and you get the day off, what would each of you guys choose?
I don't, doing it for a living, I don't really do it on my own. I don't eat the stuff. So I like to grill and stuff like that, but I very rarely eat smoked barbecue. If I do something and if I have a new product, then I always have other people sample it because, I'm biased. And one, I want to know what, they think of it before I think of it, or what I think of it. So I really don't cook a ton at home. I mean, I'm doing it all the time. So, Johnny's different. Johnny will tell you, he'll cook, Saturday, Sunday. When I'm not cooking, I just kind of like to, relax and hang out. I mean, and then my wife has me doing, stuff around the house. So.
Yeah, I do a lot of basically meal prep for the week, really. So I'll have a pork butt on, a couple racks of ribs on the smoker. Then I'll have I got a couple Weber kettles going. So I'll have chicken thighs, legs, quarters going on those. So every weekend I always have something going on.
That's awesome. Did you hear? I went down to Restaurant Depot, and they're starting to open it up to the public now.
Yes.
Yeah. And they're going to start doing deliveries as well.
Yeah, they're allowing like the big box stores like BJ's, Costco. They're offering that like day, quote unquote, day pass. But you can basically just walk in. You don't have to go to the counter, get your day pass to go through. Just opened it wide open to everybody, just for another source of where you can get your food at, other than the grocery stores.
Well, that used to be like my hidden gem where I could get the meats because you don't have to fight at Costco for a crappy piece of whatever, and we'd go down there and it was there, and it looks like Russia, man. The stores are empty. This big warehouse, and there's nothing there anymore. And I was like, where did everybody go? And where'd it go? And they said, yeah, they just opened up to the public yesterday.
Yeah, and the word got out real quick too.
Yeah, I just think Restaurant Depot, it's, the restaurant industry is one of the most it's a fast-paced industry. But when you go to Restaurant Depot, that checkout line, you're going to take about an hour and a half to get through that checkout line.
Right.
And there's no social distancing in that line.
No.
God, no. Nope.
So, guys, we got a question from the chat. Charlie Baker wants to know, do you guys have a worst fail for making rubs? Nice, funny story of nothing like a good fail in the process.
It's a good question.
Oh yeah.
I'll tell you mine, because mine happened. Mine's a continual fail. It's like the landmine. You just keep like stepping on it, and you hear the click, and then you realize you're going to blow up. I didn't realize. So you try to smoke paprika, right? And you think, okay, you try to keep the temperature low, but it gets over a certain number of hours, and pushing the 300, it combusts, and it is the most acrid stink pot smell you could ever have. And it just wipes out your smoker for at least a weekend. You got to clean it out, and it literally combusts. Like a little spark will come up and hit the powder, and it'll just burn like a oil patch. It's nasty. Wow.
Now, when you're smoking, are you just putting a pan and then just sprinkle it on the pan?
Well, I have specialized pans that that will bring the air underneath too, and on top and on the sides, but without doing it. And then you just try to do like I love my backwoods smoker here that I can get 6 or 7 racks going at a time. But it's a tricky salt is really very temperature sensitive. If you get it too hot, it crystallizes and won't take smell, and then you've just got gray product that tastes like shit. So, you got to really, really monitor it, but, and no water in the pan,
Okay. Dave, you're next.
David's never failed.
To this day, and I will say, I'll give you a specific and then a general answer. So the general one, right, is to this very day, brisket is still Russian roulette. And for every one perfect, you get one that's average and one that's not so great. And that's really trying to be a student and paying attention to it. But probably my worst fail, two things. I love heat, and I tend to overcook volume. So this was not smoking or grilling, but I made a big batch of chili. And so I had smoked some beef and gone through all this other stuff. When I made it, I made about 5 gallons. And, I never really tasted it, but I put in some of my Ghost product and I'm thinking, oh, this is going to be great. I'll give it away to family and everything else. Well, I took one taste about 2 hours into simmering it. And immediately I'm sweating and my tongue is on fire. And this is before swallowing. So
jeez, adding more.
5 gallons of product, you guys. And I'm like, I would have to dilute this in a swimming pool for anybody in my family to be able to eat it. So that was probably the worst move by me. It was a combination of way too hot and way too much. And it was a disaster.
So what'd you do?
Well, I ate it as long and as much as I could. And when I say it was me, it was only me. So, yeah, there was no, some stuff you could fix. There was just no fix in this one.
Hence his hair has fallen out by now.
So, you can always, as they say, right? And that was a while back, but you can always add in, you can't take out. And that was a valuable lesson for me.
Nice.
So yeah, seems like you learned a lot of lessons on the barbecue trail. I've learned many.
That's it. Yeah.
So guys, we got a lot of listeners from everywhere. Where and even the listeners from this area, where can everyone find your products? Website in different stores in this area.
Yeah. So the website's the best right now. It's www.noreasterbbq.com.
Excuse me.
And we got different sizes, and we can go there. And then we're starting in the Ace Hardware stores going out now. And then the COVID kind of really shifted us way back to e-commerce because there's not a lot of people cruising into non-essential stores right now.
Oh, for sure.
So it's the e-commerce is the one that's good. And, we sell in different sizes. So we've got a dinner size, like just for like if your wife wanted to put something on a steak. And then we've got the kitchen size. And then we can sell if people message us if they want to do a competition size. We'll just cryovac it and send it out. So, you don't have to send the product on glass. You can just get the product.
Oh, that's fantastic. That's fantastic.
And Ace Hardware is a great place to have product, and they do a lot for the barbecue world.
Absolutely. Nice selection of everything. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of them, especially the Aces, they do a lot of weekend demonstrations with local barbecue guys. They'll have them in on a Saturday, and because they'll sell the Weber and the grill section, so they'll have those out, and they'll take a local guy. I know our friend Steve Ray. I think he's done it a few times down in Ottawa, Tennessee, and I know his local one. They actually had Myron Mixon come in one weekend, and he was cooking for everybody, which was a pretty good deal.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
you guys should get into it. They'll put something out once a year or a couple times a year. I've done one in Concord. And it's basically you just go set up a tent, you set up a smoker, or grill, whatever, and you're just handing out samples. Yeah. And, people are just trying your product where that would be, you already have an in, so that would be huge. You guys should definitely check into that.
That is awesome. I am like, so it's like barbecue porn. I'm like, I do email David like late at night and I'm like, look at this rig, man. I got to get this rig and it's got a double thing. You think we can take trays of salt and put it in this thing? My wife's like, what are you doing? Who are you texting in the middle of the night?
Jake from State Farm.
Yeah.
So guys, we're actually running out of time a little bit, but where can where can everyone find you guys personally, social media, Facebook, Instagram, things of that nature?
We are at Nor'easter BBQ. We're on Instagram. We're on Facebook. We'll see. We're definitely we're always cruising the New England Pitmasters. Love that. So feel free and look. This is our passion. So email us. We'll email you back. David likes to write hand letters. I don't know why. But he'll write you back. I mean, it's kind of, he's like old school.
It's that personal touch.
I got one.
And we like talking about it too. We try different things, you guys, for just whether it's, for example, I'm always fooling around with shellfish down here, trying stuff like that on the smoker. We do like to play around with different stuff, and we like to interact with people who are trying new and different things too.
And you know what? What we should do is, I'll throw it out. We're coming up with different rubs all the time, and I'd love to create a rub, give you guys the list of the ingredients, and then if you can have a naming competition on your podcast, we'll throw out the sweatshirt swags and stuff for those who can come up and name it, because we do limited edition runs all the time.
Oh, nice. Well, yeah, that would be cool, for sure. So yeah, you said I've seen you in the New England Pitmasters. We actually got a few to get guys on, actually a couple different groups: New England Pitmasters, Texas Barbecue Chapter, and actually the shirt I'm wearing right now, the Big Sexy Barbecue Society, with Chef Johnny from Texas Style Barbecue and Cuisine. So yeah, we got a few groups in here checking everything out, and then I know you guys are definitely part of the New England Pitmasters for sure. So
we're still rookies in this biz. We've got so much to learn from you guys. We're just having, it's shits and grins. We're just having a lot of fun doing it and making a lot of mistakes along the way. But it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool to do.
That's what it's all about, guys. Just have fun with it.
That's it.
And, so I don't know, you guys, if you've checked into it, Rubs of Honors from the Barbecue News Magazine, American Royal Rub Contest, the NBBQA, Awards of Excellence. You guys, I don't know if you're familiar with any of those, but you should definitely check those out and, enter your product. Because, once you do win, then, you could obviously put that on the label, and it just, it goes a long way.
Yeah. Wow. That'd be awesome.
For sure.
And then there are always good times to attend as well. So,
all right, guys. Go ahead. No, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say thank you, Guy, for having us on, keeping it local. We're excited to be able to talk barbecue in New England, which is usually
unusual.
For sure, no doubt. But George, Dave, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate you taking time out of your day to come chew the fat with us for a little while. So thank you.
Stay safe, you guys. Happy grilling.
And so just need to say something. This is going to be my last podcast on the show. I just got stuff going on, messy mics, that I can't get there on Tuesdays anymore. So I wish Johnny the best of luck. But this is my last podcast. I wish it would keep going, but I just don't have time to get there anymore to the studio and do this. So
absolutely, brother. Thank you. We made a hell of a fucking team. With everything you got going on, especially with, I can't say it, it's still, parts unknown things going on with messy mics, but yeah,
soon.
The seat's always open. Talk about everything that's going on, brother. You know that. I love you. I love you like a brother. And, all right, I ain't going to get it.
I love you like my mother.
Ooh. You sick, you kinky little vixen, you. But anyway, guys, that's it for this week, folks. We'd like to thank you all for joining us. Catch the audio wherever podcasts are found. Catch the video on Facebook and YouTube. And on YouTube, hit that subscribe button and notification bell. You'll have all our catalog of previous shows right there at your fingertips on social media. Find us on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram at Pit Life BBQ. And questions and comments, please send them to pitlifebbqpodcast@gmail.com. And like always, please subscribe, like, rate, and review. Hit that share button. And just a real quick reminder, this Saturday, the Baseball and Barbecue podcast will be dropping the episode that they were nice enough to invite me on. And you'll hear me travel down memory lane with the boys, going to Fenway Park with my dad and my grandfather over the years. So, a little barbecue talk, a lot of fun. Len and Jeff are great guys. Check them out. But, that's it. George, Dave, thank you again. Ben,
Guys,
thank
very
you.
much.
See you guys.
And until next week.
All right, stay safe. Have fun.
You too, brother. Till next week. Keep that smoke rolling.
Smoke rolling.
Attention, cigar smokers, or even friends of a cigar smoker. If you're looking to relax with a nice premium cigar or looking for a great gift for a cigar smoker, this is the gift that keeps on giving. Our friends at twoguyscigars.com have created the Cigar of the Month Club. For just $24.99 per month, you or your friend will receive 4 different premium handmade cigars every month, and shipping and handling is included. Go to twoguyscigars.com. That's the number 2, guyscigars.com, and go to the Cigar of the Month Club. You can stop anytime because there's no contract, but you won't because this is a tremendous deal for our listeners. Go to twoguyscigars.com. That's the number 2, guyscigars.com, and click the Cigar of the Month Club. At the same time, if you want to learn about the cigars you receive each month, you can smoke along with them on their own podcast called The Cigar Authority. Sit back, relax, and enjoy a nice premium cigar from our friends at twoguyscigars.com.
The views and opinions expressed by the hosts, guests, or callers of this program do not necessarily reflect the opinions of the Studio 21 Podcast Café, the United Podcast Network, its partners, or affiliates.